Good morning, everybody. Major General Shori, welcome to our Riverside club. Um, Major General Shori is former Additional Director, General Army Postal Service Corps and member Postal Service Board. He's of 1982 batch civil service officer who has served the great Indian Army for 21 years. General Shori has headed the Army Postal Service Corps from 2011 to March 2015. Before retiring as a member Postal Services Board on 31st July 2016, General Shori has attended various training courses in India and abroad, which include IIM Ahmedabad, APPPTC Bangkok, and Advanced Management Program in Switzerland. General Shori is a precious reader, enthusiastic learner, a social thinker, and a reputed author, as well as a passionate golfer. He has already authored 4 books titled Indian Rajashri and the Greek Philosopher King. Second is 7 Shades of Rama. This is translated in Hindi as Bhagwan Shri Ram ke Saath Roop. So why we are like this? Invisible Shades of Ramayana. So these articles written by General Shori on social issues and international relations are published periodically in newspapers and magazines. He delivers motivational talks to students, middle senior level executives, and government officials. His prime focus is to explore rich ancient Indian wisdom and philosophy and to present it before the audience, making it relevant in modern times. He has done extensive research on behavioral science and has developed management skills based upon Panchtantra stories, principles of good governance as per Ramayana and Mahabharata, and has been conducting workshops, webinars on conflict management, ethical economics, principle of good governance. Presently, General Shori is chairman of the governing body of GGDSD College, Banner, which is a sister institution of GGDSD College, Sector 32, Chandigarh. He is also director of Hanuman Development, Human Development Policy Research and Training Center. Welcome, General Shori. It will be a privilege to listen to you, and it's all yours.
Thank you very much. I need the permission for the screen sharing, please.
1 minute. General Shori, you are co-host.
Yeah, it's there. I'm just opening it. Can you see the first slide, please, on your screens?
Yes.
Okay. Am I clearly audible also?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm extremely thankful to Colonel Mishra ji, who has given me this opportunity to make a presentation on this topic, which has become very relevant. Of course, nowadays there are some other topics which are more relevant. For next 35 minutes or say around 40 odd minutes, I'll be making this presentation about the India-China relations. But before I start, I formally thanks all the Rotarians, and I have seen in the participants list, there are 2 personalities whom I know personally. One is Dr. Rama. She is the principal of our GGDSD Banur. Welcome, madam. And I've seen that Madam Sudha Shah from Bombay, she has also joined. Madam Sudha Shah is a reputed author. She has already written a book, and she is working on another book. Thank you very much for joining. As far as my topic is concerned, Indian challenge to Chinese expansion. Before I come straight away to the topic, I would like to share that when we were preparing for the civil services exam, international political science was one of my subjects, in which international relations was the one paper. And during those days, there used to be every year, I'm from 82 batch in the 1980-81 exam, there used to be every year one question on one particular scenario. question used to be define the national interest of a country, or it will be like this, that the defined national interest, and especially in the context of Indo-US relations or Indo-Russia relations, or in the West Asia or Asia Pacific, something like that. So there used to be Professor K.C. Mishra, whose book we used to read, and from his book I have taken this thing, that there are no permanent friends and enemies in international relations. The only permanent thing is country's national interest. National interest of every country is the only thing which a country is supposed to pursue it. How? If we see the background, before coming straightway to the Indo-China, we need to understand a couple of things, that as far as the relations between India and China and of India with other countries, if we see a historical look, what has happened? We know that 1962 war with China. Before 1962 war with China, Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai was the slogan, and Panchsheel, the principle of Panchsheel, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he brought out this principle of Panchsheel, out of which one was mutual coexistence and maintaining the friendly relations with the neighboring countries. So India was friendly with China, but suddenly the friendship turned into enmity, and 1962, both countries fought a war. What happened later on? 1965, India had war with Pakistan, and 1970 war, again war against Pakistan. And during the war, US fleet, it used to be called 7th Fleet, it landed in Indian Ocean in support of Pakistan. US 7th Fleet was ready to attack Indian ports. And at that time, in 1971, to counter US threat, then Foreign Minister of India, Dr. Swarn Singh, and Mr. Andrei Gromyko, who was from Russia, they both signed a treaty of 20 years, which is called a 20 years friendship treaty between India and USSR. So USA was against India, and India became closer to USSR. That was the situation of the scenario at that time. And what happened later on? In the 90s, when the process of economic liberalization started, India and USA came very closer, because of the India realized that if it wants to progress internationally, economically, then it needs the support of the multinational companies or the countries like USA or the Western countries, etc. So relationship between India and USA during the 1971 war was totally different, and the 90s it was totally different. At the same time, similarly at the same time, what started happening, that disintegration of USSR took place. But after the disintegration, India had a solid defense deals with Russia. So India was having good relations with USA, and it started signing good defense deals with Russia also. And later on, during, we can say that a couple of years back, Howdy Modi took place. The relationship between India and the USA, we know what type of relationships were. And simultaneously, Jinping Jula also took place, when Chinese president and our prime minister, they were sitting on a Jula having a cup of tea, which indicates the type and the level of the friendly relations between India and China. But these same relations between India and China took a turn during and after the Galwan scenario. So what I'm trying to say is that a country's relations with the other countries keep on changing depending upon the situation. Okay. Now, hello. Now, if we see the economic scenario, there are large number of Chinese companies even today operating in India. And if you see that the Indian smartphone market, it's absolutely dominated by the Chinese companies. As per the FICCI, these are the sectors in which Chinese have already invested since last 10 years. And if you see that you name it, when you name the automobile industry, it's not only the manufacturing of the cars, it's the manufacturing of the parts, it's the cabling, it's the wiring, it's the electricity. There are so many things are there in the automobile industry where the Chinese have heavily invested. Power, construction, services. So what I'm trying to say, that the Chinese economic factor has been a very, very important and crucial factor strengthening the relationships between India and China since last 10 years. We know the Chinese goods, how they have dominated the Indian markets. Apart from that, Invest India, there are even today, though the number of companies have come down, imports have come down, but if 6 months back, there were roughly 800 Chinese companies in the domestic market, having 75 manufacturing facilities for the various items and the goods, which range from optical fiber to chemicals to power gear. So that has been the situation, economic scenario. And if you see that, if you just name some of the companies like Oppo, Vivo, International Hire, Media, these are the largest Chinese brands which are even today available in the Indian markets. Indian cricket team, you can see. Apart from that, there are good number of Indian companies. They have also invested in China like Adani, Dr. Reddy, Jindal, BEML, Godrej, Boas, etc., etc. So this economic factor has been very, very important in the relationships between India and the China since last 10 years or so. You see that the Indo-China trade. Now these figures are till February 20. These figures have taken from the Ministry of Commerce. Now after the February 20, the next figures haven't come. But if you see the graph, how that the trade has been increasing between both the countries, right from financial year 16 onwards to financial year 20, 1920 till February 20. Imports have increased drastically, exports have also increased. So this has been the increasing Indo-China trade in the bilateral relationships of both the countries. Alibaba, people have heard about this name. They have invested around $2 billion in Indian companies since 2015, not directly, but indirectly. And out of 4.64 million tons of steel sold by Indian firms between April to July 20, China bought almost 40% steel, because China depends heavily on India for the steel. And this trade has not come down to zero as on date. It has come down, but it has not come down to zero. I'm just sharing these economic factors before I come to the geopolitical scenario. There has been another very serious issue, water sharing between India and China. See that there are a number of water resources, including Indus, Satluj, Brahmaputra, which Chinese call Yarlung Sangpo, and many tributaries of the Brahmaputra. There has been the number of water resources common, and India is concerned that if there is a major conflict, China can do very heavy damage to India by making the diversion of the water, by building the dams, and can modify the flow of the rivers also. So China in a conflict against India can use the rivers as a very, very strong weapon. So apart from economic aspect, there is a water aspect also. And they have already constructed about 10 dams on Brahmaputra and its tributaries. Which side? On their side. And they call Brahmaputra by their own name, Yarlung Sangpo, that it comes from that side. And when it reaches India, it becomes Brahmaputra. And China is already building a mega dam at the Great Bend called the Motuto Dam, which will be a very, very warning signal for India in the future. Now, we need to understand the overall geopolitical scenario at first. Then I will explain the Chinese intentions, what China is doing, why China is doing, and the last will be that what India can do to counter the Chinese challenge. Geopolitical scenario we need to understand. This is the overall map. I hope the map is absolutely clear, please. Can somebody just confirm it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This is just the overall map of the world. I have shown this map so that you just keep into mind that this is the Atlantic Ocean. Then we come towards India, Sri Lanka. There is an Indian Ocean. So Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean. So we just keep into mind these two oceans and see that where the countries are strategically located as far as the geography is concerned of the world. Okay. Now see here. Now China is having its boundary touching Mongolia. Right side is the North Korea. Then of course the tip of Russia, and this Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan. They all were part of Russia. So we can say that the China is having its boundary with Mongolia, North Korea, Russia, and erstwhile these Russian states, along with Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Laos. So see that the with so many countries, China is having its boundaries, and the important aspect is that with 14 countries, it is sharing 22,000 kilometer land borders, right from, as I mentioned, North Korea to Vietnam. And China is having a boundary dispute with every country as on date. China is having with every country some sort of the boundary dispute with whom he is sharing 22,000 kilometer land area. This is the one scenario. Okay, now we will be coming slowly to India, China also. As far as the India-China is concerned, Sino-Indian border is concerned, it's almost 4,000 kilometers long. And it touches where? It touches Ladakh on the top, comes down to Uttarakhand and Himachal, then goes towards the northeast in Sikkim and the Arunachal Pradesh. So in other words, one union territory and 4 states Indian boundary is touching with China, which is around 4,000 kilometers. Where it is touching. You see that these rounds which I have made, China. Now, Jammu and Kashmir top, Himachal Pradesh down below, Uttaranchal. Then in between there is a buffer state called Nepal, and after Nepal there is Sikkim, and the end there is Arunachal Pradesh. This is that these 5 states where China is having not only touching the boundary but boundary dispute against India. So don't think only about a small place called Doklam. It's not only Doklam where the problem is there. Problem is with these 5 states as on date. Now this border dispute is where one is at the Aksai area. I'll just go back in the map. This is in the top where the Jammu and Kashmir is there. Right side yellow portion, it is Aksai. So Aksai is the one area which is as on date controlled by China but claimed by India. It is controlled by China and claimed by India. Arunachal Pradesh, it is controlled by India and claimed by China. Apart from that, Tawang district, out of whole of the Arunachal, China is very fussy about Tawang district, which is today controlled by India and claimed by China. Shaksum Valley, it is controlled by, I will show you on the map where the valley is there. It is controlled by China and claimed by India, conferred to China in 1963 by Pakistan. Pakistan, some of the area, it gifted to China in 1963 after 1962 war with China. And that area, India claims it is owned by me, which has been wrongly gifted by Pakistan to China. This is the Shaksum Valley, which I just mentioned. Now, Shaksum Valley is on the top. Down below is Siachen Glacier, and the left side is the Gilgit-Baltistan. Now, this Baltistan or the Gilgit, it is called POK by India, that Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now, this Pakistan occupied Kashmir's some portion, Shaksum Valley, has been given by Pakistan to China, which India claims it is mine. And along with that, there Siachen Glacier is there. On the right side, there is the Aksai, which is under the control of China, but claimed by India. So the dispute is not only at some kilometer, couple of kilometers in Doklam on this side of the river. Dispute is very, very big, very, very large. This is at the mega map. Now, on this map, you can clearly see Aksai area, then the Gilgit-Baltistan, which I mentioned, the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. And if you come where the Jammu and Kashmir is written, Jammu and Kashmir is written, on the left side, it is written in green color, Azad Kashmir. Now, this is the Azad Kashmir, which Pakistan says that it has been liberated from India, and India claims that this portion, it is occupied by Pakistan, POK. So this is the whole area is disputed. So Aksai is here, then that the Shaksum Valley is there, Pakistan occupied Kashmir is there. So this is the, as far as that the Himalayan ranges in the Ladakh area is concerned. Now here you see the map. See that this red dot, what does it show? It shows that that China has built almost 1300 Karakoram highway, which is touching the place called Gwadar, where there is the Pakistan seaport. Now this 1300 kilometer, if you search YouTube, you will see that the what top class highway has been constructed by China, running through various cities of Pakistan and reaching at the end at Gwadar. Now this has been built in where? It has been built slicing through this Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which India claims it is mine. You see that कभी-कभी ना हमारे कुछ नेता जो है प्लेटफॉर्म पर जाकर बड़ी-बड़ी बात कर देते हैं, जिसके खामियाजे जो है वो देशों को भुगतने पड़ते हैं। आर्टिकल 370 के बाद हमारे कुछ नेताओं ने जो है जोश में आकर कहना शुरू कर दिया 370 आ गया, अब हमने जो है पीओके को आजाद करवाना है, अब हमने पीओके पर कब्जा करना है। अरे पीओके के ऊपर 1300 किलोमीटर का हाईवे चाइना ने बना लिया है और उसको वो यूज कर रहा है, और ग्वादार में जो पोर्ट है अफगानिस्तान, वहां से सारा अपना माल बेचकर उस पोर्ट के जरिए वो आगे ईरान को भेज रहा है और दूसरे कंट्री को भेज रहा है। कैन चाइना अलाउ दैट इंडिया कैन टेक पीओके, दिस पोर्शन ऑफ द पीओके एंड डिस्टर्ब इट्स होल प्लान? ऐसा होता नहीं है। वो कहने के लिए जोश में कई बार लीडर कह देते हैं, जिससे चिड़ मच जाती है। एंड दैट हैज आल्सो बीन वन ऑफ द रीजन के चाइना को खतरा लगा, चाइना को चिड़ मची और उसने कहा ये पीओ के ऊपर कब्जा करने की छाती पीट कर बात कर रहे हैं, चलो मैं थोड़ा सा दो क्रम में शरारत करता हूं। एनीहाउ, सो ये जो हाईवे है, ये हाईवे पीओ के थ्रू होता हुआ चाइना हैज ऑलरेडी बिल्ट एंड इट इज यूजिंग इट। अब आप यहां पर देखिए, ये जो मैंने एरो की मदद से क्या दिखाने की कोशिश की है। सी दैट द फर्स्ट एरो ईरान। ईरान क्यों? एज आई मेंशन दैट through that Karakoram highway, China has reached the Gwadar port, which is near Peshawar in Pakistan, and from that port it is supplying its goods to Iran, and China is planning to have a rail link supporting Iran, which will connect Iran with Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. These are the designs of China as far as the long term is concerned. Number one. Second arrow shows China and Pakistan. We all know that the China continues to support Pakistan because Pakistan's POK has been some portion given by Pakistan to China, and China cannot afford to lose it. Third arrow shows Nepal. In Nepal, there has been the CPIM Maoist party, though there has been some political disturbance since last couple of days. But still, both the factions, they belong to CPIM, and China will never allow Nepal to go astray because it is a buffer state between China and India, and China has been supporting Nepal by establishing a police academy there, giving them so many facilities there, sending its students to Nepal, asking Nepal to send its students to China. So China has been building the cultural and the political relations with Nepal to put a counter on India, and everybody knows that all the smugglers, they run towards Nepal, and a lot of smuggling takes place of the Chinese goods in the Indo-Nepal border. And the next arrow shows China, Bangladesh. China has already almost taken over Bangladesh by giving it so many debts, and Bangladesh its economy, it crippled, though it is trying to come out again. And similarly, Bhutan. Bhutan, again, China is having its eye on that. And the last arrow shows that the Sri Lanka's Hanbata port has been taken on lease by China, and Sri Lanka said it cannot repay the debt, so you just take over the port. So China has extended its supremacy towards Sri Lanka via Pakistan, Afghanistan towards Iran, and it is supporting, encouraging, controlling, dominating the smaller countries like Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. This is the geopolitical scenario as far as this area is concerned. Now you just leave this geopolitical scenario, come towards the Indo-Pacific region, because I'm just explaining the Chinese intentions and the Chinese designs, what China is doing, why it is doing. Here we need to understand with the help of the maps. First map I showed you that Indian Ocean and Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and you can see that the down below it shows Indian Ocean, and अगर आप थोड़ा सा ऊपर देखें जहां Indo-Pacific की जो sea है, सी के ऊपर वियतनाम है और वियतनाम के ऊपर लिखा हुआ साउथ चाइना सी। जस्ट कीप इन टू माइंड दिस एरिया विच इज कॉल्ड साउथ चाइना सी। ये एक बड़ा मैप है, जैसे मैंने वो पहले दिखाया था। यहाँ पर आपको आप थोड़ा सा इसको देख लें, जो मैंने अभी साउथ चाइना सी दिखाया, चाइना के नीचे जहां पर आपको बर्मा और थाईलैंड दिखाई दे रहा है, थाईलैंड के राइट साइड में वो पूरा साउथ चाइना सी है। और अगर आप और नीचे की तरफ को चले, बिल्कुल नीचे यहाँ पर इंडोनेशिया मिलेगा, फिलीपींस मिलेगा, और इसके अलावा मलेशिया मिलेगा, और साथ साथ छोटे छोटे आइलैंड्स मिलेंगे, और नीचे की तरफ को इंडिया के नीचे श्रीलंका है। ओके, ये मैं थोड़ा समुद्री रास्ता आपको दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, एंड आई विल एक्सप्लेन विद द हेल्प ऑफ कपल ऑफ मैप्स आल्सो। ये साउथ चाइना सी जो है, ये क्या चक्कर है इसका, क्या है इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस? और इंपॉर्टेंस तो ट्रेड ही है, पैसा ही है सारी दुनिया में जो सारा खेल खेल रहा है। व्हाई इट इज सो इंपॉर्टेंट? 1/3 of world's maritime shipping passes through it, carrying over $3 trillion trade every year। ये साउथ चाइना का जो रूट है, जो जापान से लेकर जो है आगे तक को जा रहा है। Huge oil and natural gas reserves are believed to lie beneath its seabed। अरेबियन कंट्रीज में अगर कल को जो है तेल के कुएं अगर खत्म हो गए, तब क्या करना है? तो इस साउथ चाइना सी के समुद्र के नीचे जो है वो पाया गया है कि नेचुरल गैस और ऑयल के बहुत बहुत इतने रिजर्व हैं कि वो कम से कम 100-200 साल और चल सकते हैं। इट आल्सो कंटेन लुक्रेटिव फिशरीज। बहुत फिशरीज, आपको मालूम है दैट Asian countries and the other countries, how much they depend on the fisheries and the other things, which are very crucial for the food security of the millions in the Southeast Asia. So this South China area is very, very important and crucial. China's efforts are to control the South China Sea. किस लिए? क्योंकि वो सारे एशिया में अपने आप को एक पावर प्रोजेक्शन के तौर पर पेश करना चाहता है। वहां पर छोटे छोटे जो आइलैंड्स हैं, आइलैंड से भी छोटे छोटे आइलैंड्स हैं, दे कैन बी यूज्ड एज द एयर एंड द सी बेस फॉर इंटेलिजेंस, सर्वेलेंस एंड रिकॉनेसेंस एक्टिविटीज। और चाइना वहां पर चाहे तो बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल्स, सबमरीन्स लगा भी सकता है, लगा भी चुका है। आई विल शो यू आल्सो। अब देखिए, जो मैंने दिखाया कि ट्रेड के हिसाब से ये ऊपर आपको स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज दिखाई दे रही है, ये दूसरे आगे कुछ मैप आएंगे उसमें ये आपको बिल्कुल कंसेप्ट क्लियर हो जाएगा। नीचे स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलक्का दिखाई दे रही है, ये मलक्का की खाड़ी और हॉर्मुज की खाड़ियां कहां कहां हैं अभी मैं आपको नेक्स्ट मैप में दिखाऊंगा। बट जस्ट हैव ए लुक एट द स्टैटिस्टिक्स हियर। परसेंटेज ऑफ इंपोर्टेड ऑयल कमिंग फ्रॉम मिडिल ईस्ट कितनी है? जापान का 80% उधर से आ रहा है, यूरोप का 21% जा रहा है, यूएसए का 16% और चाइना का खुद का 39%। इतना जो है वहां पर ऑयल और दूसरी आइटम्स जो है इस साउथ चाइना सी रूट के रूट से दे आर जस्ट फ्लोइंग फ्रॉम हियर एंड देयर। ये है स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का। स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का आपने देखा कि ये एक छोटा सा पैच है मलेशिया और सिंगापुर के बीच में। नो, स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का, ये जो ऊपर जो है ईस्ट चाइना सी है, साउथ चाइना सी है, इसके थ्री होते होते सारे जहाज जो है वो आगे इधर श्रीलंका से होते होते आगे जाते हैं। और ये है स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज। एक बार फिर दोबारा दिखा देता हूं, थोड़ा वो एरो जल्दी हो गया, सॉरी। ये स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का, ये साउथ चाइना सी से मैंने जो दिखाया कि ये बीच में जो स्ट्रेच है, ये देखने में स्ट्रेच है बट इट अबाउट 500 किलोमीटर और इसकी विड्थ भी बहुत ज्यादा है। ये साउथ चाइना सी से आगे की तरफ को जाने वाला, दिस इज दैट द ट्रेड रूट, स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का। सिमिलरली देयर इज अ स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज जो ओमान की खाड़ी है। स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज को अगर आप देखें, ये स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज की जो खाड़ी है, इसके थ्रू जो शिप्स व्हेन दे कैरी दीज ऑल दीज आइटम्स, मर्केंटाइज आइटम, then they reach Afghanistan, Iran, UAE and it gives an opening to go towards other countries also। तो ये दोनों खाड़ियां बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अब देखिए, चाइना को लगा कि कल को कहीं को प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है, इंडिया भी कोई प्रॉब्लम खड़ी कर सकता है, और स्पेशली दिस एशियन कंट्रीज लाइक इंडोनेशिया, फिलीपींस, कुआलालंपुर, मलेशिया एटसेट्रा, दे कैन आल्सो क्रिएट ए प्रॉब्लम। तो उसने क्या किया, उसने थाईलैंड के साथ मिलकर एक $20 बिलियन का एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाया है कि भाई एक नई कैनाल बनाते हैं। जैसे कि पनामा कनाल है, स्विस कनाल है, सो इट इज कॉल्ड क्रॉस कनाल। अब ये क्या होगा कि जो स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलक्का मैंने दिखाई थी उसको बाईपास कर देगी। व्हेन इट बाईपासेस स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलक्का, देन चाइना के जो शिप्स हैं, देयर डिस्टेंस विल बी रिड्यूस्ड बाय अराउंड 1000+ ऑड किलोमीटर, मोर देन दैट। So distance reduce हो जाएगा, time reduce हो जाएगा, that the operational cost will be reduced, and some sort of the security issues which is bothering China from these ASEAN countries and countries like India and others, that will also be taken care of. अब आप देखिए कि कोई कैनाल बनाना को मजाक तो है नहीं है। एक कंट्री के साथ एग्रीमेंट करके एक कैनाल बनाना और $20 बिलियन के प्रोजेक्ट को ले आना, इट टेक्स years and years of planning। और हमारी सोच, हमारे देश की, मुझे यही अफसोस होता है, हमारी सोच जो है एक इलेक्शन और उसके बाद दूसरा इलेक्शन, इससे ऊपर की नहीं होती है। द कंट्री लाइक चाइना, यूएसए एटसेट्रा, दे थिंक फ्रॉम देयर लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग पर्सपेक्टिव, प्लानिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। ओके, मैं कुछ और बातें बाद में शेयर करूंगा, पहले जियोपॉलिटिकल और साउथ चाइना को और समझ ले। See that the, as I mentioned, Kras Canal is a concern of a Chinese-controlled corridor linking Chinese ports and facilities in South China to the Indian Ocean। ये उसके ऊपर काम कर रहा है। It will be clear from this map। थोड़ा हेजी सा आया, but still अगर आप थोड़ा सा देखें कि ये इंडोनेशिया के यहाँ स्टेट ऑफ मलक्का मैंने दिखाई थी यहाँ पर। अब वो ये जो डॉट्स हैं इसलिए यहाँ पर वो बना रहा है वो। अब थाईलैंड है ये ऊपर, ये ऊपर थाईलैंड है, थाईलैंड के साथ टाई अप करके वो यहां पर बना रहा है, विच मीन दैट उसको ये रूट जो है बहुत शॉर्ट पड़ेगा क्रॉस कनाल बनाने के बाद। नो, ऑन दिस मैप यू सी दैट देयर आर वेरी वेरी स्मॉल आइलैंड्स। अभी तक तो हम क्रॉस कनाल और स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज देख रहे थे। इफ यू सी वेयर इट इज रिटन पैसिफिक ओशन, पैसिफिक ओशन के नीचे क्या है? Mariana Island, then there is a Marshall Island, then there is a Nauru, there is a Solomon Island, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, and right side में है American Samoa, Tonga, this thing, that thing. There are large number of small islands are there. What is their importance? I will also explain. These are called string of pearls. चाइना ने इनको नाम दिया है स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स। इट इज ए नेटवर्क ऑफ चाइनीज मिलिट्री एंड कमर्शियल फैसिलिटीज अलोंग इट्स सी लाइंस ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन। चाइना से इस मेनलैंड से इसको हॉर्न ऑफ अफ्रीका के साथ वो जोड़ने का प्लान कर रहा है। सी लाइंस run through several choke points as the Strait of Mandab, Strait of Malacca, Strait of Hormuz। पाकिस्तान, श्रीलंका, बांग्लादेश, मालदीव, सोमालिया, इन सारियों को बाईपास करते हुए उन खाड़ियों के साथ टच करने का वो प्लान बना चुका। Somebody can switch off the mic. This plan, together with China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, you see that the, as I mentioned, that the वो जो काराकोरम हाईवे है, it is called CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, और चाइना का अपना एक प्रोजेक्ट है BRI, Belt and Road Initiative। इसके साथ इस साउथ चाइना सी के थ्रू चाइना हिंदुस्तान को अपने शिकंजे में लेना चाहता है, अपने घेरे में लेना चाहता है। ऊपर से जो है काराकोरम हाईवे से जो है वो इंडिया, पाकिस्तान, चाइना, पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान की तरफ को, और इस तरफ से जो है वो वाया सी की तरफ से। दीज आर द आइलैंड्स। ये जो रेड डॉट दिख रही हैं, इनको अगर आप गिने 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, these are called 9 dots। इनको इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिक्स में 9 dots कहा जाता है, but last couple of years China has started calling these 12 dots। He says there are not 9 but there are 12। What are these dots? These are the very very small islands located at the very crucial geographical location which China claims that they belong to China। And every island, it has some sort of dispute against Philippines and Vietnam, but China claims that some of these islands belong to China। और ये आप ये जो ब्राउन सी डॉट देख रहे हैं, अगर आप देखें इन्हीं आइलैंड्स को आपस में कनेक्ट करते हुए चाइना पूरा शिकंजा कस रहा है एशियन कंट्रीज के लिए भी और अल्टीमेटली इंडिया के लिए भी, वाया साउथ चाइना सी, बेसिकली अपना कंट्रोल करने के लिए, अपने ट्रेड को स्ट्रॉन्ग करने के लिए, और कभी भी कोई ऐसी सिचुएशन आए तो जापान या दूसरे कंट्रीज के ट्रेड को कंट्रोल करने के लिए। स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स। देखिए हैनन आइलैंड अभी मैं दिखाऊंगा आपको, वहीं पर एक हैनन आइलैंड है चाइना ने तो वहां पर अपना नेवल बेस भी बना लिया है, सबमरीन बेस इट हैज ऑलरेडी कंस्ट्रक्टेड, और पूरा उसके ऊपर अपना कंट्रोल कर रहा है। वुडी आइलैंड, there is a group of islands which is called Paracel Island. Out of Paracel Islands, there is a very important island called Woody Island. वहां पर चाइना ने अपनी एयर स्ट्रिप बना ली है, ये हो रहा है। इसके अलावा संशा, उसने एक छोटा सा सिटी बसा दिया वुडी आइलैंड के ऊपर। स्प्रेटी आइलैंड, परमानेंट मिलिट्री प्रेजेंस रख दी अपनी सारी उसके ऊपर। ये देखिए, ये समुद्र में छोटे छोटे आइलैंड्स के ऊपर कैसे उसने एयर स्ट्रिप बना ली है। जो रीफ, वाटर रीफ होते हैं, सी कोरल रीफ होते हैं, रीफ्स की मदद से, उसकी मदद से, अपनी टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से चाइना है ऑलरेडी बिल्ड द एयर स्ट्रिप देयर, एंड you see that what type of establishment is China is having in some of these islands. सवाल ये पैदा होता है कि चाइनीज ये चक्कर क्या खेल क्या रहा है, चक्कर क्या है सारा, वो उधर से वो ऐसा कर रहा है, समुद्र से ऐसे कर रहा है, वो चाहता क्या है यार? वो क्या डोकलाम में 5 किलोमीटर आगे आना चाहता है? जी नहीं, वो एक अलग ही इशू है। चाइना चाहता क्या है? See that we have a look at the Chinese history since last good number of we can say 100 years or more than that. China believes in expansion. China चाहता है, और चाइना का ख्याल है कि वो दुनिया को के ऊपर उसे काबू करना है, दुनिया के ऊपर वो अपने आप को फैलाना चाहता है। China is working to build a new modern socialist Tibet. ये तिब्बत जो है, इसको मैं थोड़ा सा बताना भूल गया था, later on I have added. He wants to कि ये तिब्बत को मैं एक नया मॉडर्न सोशलिस्ट तिब्बत बनाऊं। चाइना इज आइज आर ऑन अरुणाचल प्रदेश, क्योंकि चाइना कहता है कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश कल्चर, हिस्ट्री, लैंग्वेज इज इक्वल, इज जस्ट सिमिलर टू चाइना, सो बेसिकली अरुणाचल प्रदेश इज माइन। चाइनीज आइज आर ऑन बर्मा एंड नेपाल। चाइना इज नॉट जस्ट spending money or investing money for nothing. It ultimately wants to control and annex and merge some of these smaller countries. China wants to increase its trade and commerce through one belt, one road, and जो पुराने जमाने में जो old Silk Road trade route होता था, उसको establish करके अपनी सारी goods को सारी दुनिया में फैलाना चाहता है। चाइना चाहता है कि अगर एशिया में कोई पावर है तो मैं हूं। That is called big brother attitude. वो बाकी सब उसको लगता है कि छोटे मोटे हैं। If there is any problem, any need and necessity, they should come to me. This is I am the big brother as far as the Asia is concerned. So इसीलिए उसको इंडिया से खुंदक है। China wants to establish that if there is a superpower in the world, it is China only. There used to be 2 superpowers after the disintegration of USSR. वो सारा concept खत्म हो गया। USA की economic situation जो है वो कैसे डावाडोल होती है, and there are so many other issues out there. So China wants to establish that there is only one superpower in the world. ये कर क्या रहा है? अब आप देखिए, ब्लैक में लिखा, ब्लैक डॉट्स जो हैं, proposed Silk Road routes. ये ब्लैक चाइना के एक्जियान प्रोविंस से शुरू होकर मॉस्को होता हुआ उधर हॉलैंड तक ये जा रहा है, और उसको अगर सी के साथ कनेक्ट करें, हॉलैंड, इटली, ग्रीस, इजिप्ट, कीनिया से हो रहा है, और नीचे कोलंबो, श्रीलंका से होता हुआ कोरिया की तरफ को जा रहा है। सो चाइना वाया सी एंड वाया लैंड is trying to expand itself not only in and around these smaller countries, but in whole of Asia, whole of world. It's a fact. इंडिया क्या करे? ऐसे में इंडिया क्या करे भाई? ऐसे थोड़ी है कि चाइना ये चाहता है, चाइना वो चाहता है, तो इंडिया क्या करे? सो व्हाट टाइप ऑफ इंडिया कैन पुट चैलेंज फॉर दिस चाइनीज एक्सपेंशनिस्ट पॉलिसी? देयर आर सो मेनी ऑप्शंस आर देयर, देयर आर सो मेनी ऑप्शंस आर देयर। स्लाइसिंग द सलामी, टिट फॉर टैट। भाई लद्दाख में आपने डोकलाम में आकर किया, 3 किलोमीटर आप आगे आए, ठीक है, आई विल डू इन सम अदर एरियाज। It's not coming in the news, but it has happened in a couple of areas where India has given the tit for tat and slicing the salami response to Chinese invasion or the intrusion in Doklam area. So to counter such type of Chinese शरारतें, India can also do and does also, but वो बड़े छोटे स्केल पर होता है। You have to be आत्मनिर्भर। भाई China wants its trade, its goods to go to be in the whole of India. So you stand on your own feet. आप क्यों अलाउ कर रहे हो चाइनीज गुड्स को? आपको मालूम है that the Chinese goods are very cheap. They're very cost effective. So you be Atmanirbhar, you stand on your own feet, your goods should be in a position to compete domestically as well as internationally. Okay. What type of friendly approach we should have with our neighbors like Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka? इन चारों को मालूम है चाइनीज खतरे का. श्रीलंका का तो पोर्ट की वजह से दैट ऑलरेडी वो डेट में आ चुका है. नेपाल और भूटान को खतरा रहता है कि कल को कहीं कुछ भी हो गया तो ये चाइनीज जो है ये हमारे ऊपर आ जाएंगे. बांग्लादेश इज आल्सो द सिमिलर दिस थिंग. सो these four countries which are the landlocked countries which are on the border, श्रीलंका को छोड़कर तीनों जो है, और इंडिया, बांग्लादेश, नेपाल, भूटान, जो चाइना की बाउंड्री जिनके साथ टच कर रही है, इनके साथ हमारे रिलेशंस शुड बी वेरी वेरी साउंड एंड फ्रेंडली एंड द गुड. इट शुड बी दैट द closely knit family against China. There is a need to have new trade options for India with ASEAN countries. Since last 10 years, हम SAARC पर लगे रहे. I wrote an article about a month back and I make a presentation that time has come that SAARC should be converted into ARC. That India should take the initiative. Instead of South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, India should go for Asian Regional Cooperation, where it should include large number of ASEAN countries also. All those ASEAN countries like Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, etc., their trade has gone very high in comparison to SAARC countries. So India should have the more trade options with ASEAN countries, and all these ASEAN countries which are situated in South China Sea, they are worried about Chinese expansion. So like friendly relationship between landlocked countries with Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, etc., and these sea-based companies, ASEAN countries, India can play a big role to counter China on land as well as on sea. Just see. Already India is working on to start have a highway linking Myanmar and going up to Thailand. हाँ, ये जरूर अफसोस की बात है कि इसके ऊपर पिछले 10 साल से काम चल रहा है और इतना स्लो काम चल रहा है कि मुझे नहीं लगता कि आने वाले 5 साल में भी कंप्लीट होगा. बट एटलीस्ट एट द इफ इंडिया वांट्स इट कैन डू. एंड जैसे कि चाइना हैज एस्टैब्लिश्ड चाइना पाकिस्तान इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर, सिमिलरली इंडिया कैन एस्टैब्लिश इंडिया म्यांमार थाईलैंड कॉरिडोर, and later on it can take leverage from Thailand to have the connection with the ASEAN countries through sea also. So if India really is so serious, then it can use this highway. Now these are the ASEAN member countries, and you see that how they are strategically located, right from Philippines to Thailand to Singapore to Indonesia, which are a very very strong and becoming a very very strong lobby in the international politics since last 10 years. India should look towards ASEAN member countries. Now, India needs to strengthen its bilateral relations with other Asian nations. Apart from, देखिए अभी जो मैंने बात की थी कि नेपाल, भूटान, बांग्लादेश, ये तो वो हैं जिनके साथ बॉर्डर लग रहा है. ईरान, अफगानिस्तान के साथ बॉर्डर नहीं लग रहा. रशियन कंट्रीज थे, उनके साथ इंडिया का बॉर्डर नहीं लग रहा. बट इंडिया नीड्स टू स्ट्रेंथन द बायलैटरल रिलेशंस विद द अदर एशियन नेशंस. लेकिन हो क्या रहा है, वो ईरान में चबहार पोर्ट बना, उसके में फंडिंग नहीं हुई, पोर्ट को यूज करना शुरू किया और उसी ईरान ने रेल प्रोजेक्ट के लिए चाइनीज कंपनी के साथ एग्रीमेंट कर लिया. सो डिप्लोमेटिकली वी फेल्ड देयर. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, कजाकिस्तान, किर्गिस्तान, तजाकिस्तान, ये सारी कंट्रीज जो हैं वो पुराने जमाने में रशियंस होते थे. उनके साथ हमारे कल्चरल और हिस्टोरिकल रिलेशंस बहुत अच्छे हैं, but we have not been in a position to leverage those relations. And today China is also eyeing to have friendly relations with these countries. Hence the need is that कि landlocked countries, ASEAN countries और ये remotely located जो friendly countries हैं, इनके साथ हमारे relationship बहुत strong होने चाहिए. We need to have new alignment. New alignment is already on. It is called Quad. कौन सा है वो एक मैं I'll show you with the help of a map. It is India, Australia, Japan and USA, Quad. Now these 4 countries, especially Japan, it realized कि मेरा 40% oil उधर से आ रहा है, कल को तो ये जापान के लिए भी खतरा हो सकता है. So already these 4 countries, इनको Quad करके, they have done good number of military exercise in this South China Sea, and they are having lot of collaborations in future, military collaborations to counter the Chinese threat in this area. which needs to be strengthened. There is a need to strengthen the defense forces. Now, already India is upgrading its airstrip at INS Kohasa, Shipur in North Andaman, Campbell's ship in Nicobar. वहां पर full fledged fighter base बन चुके हैं actually. अगाती लक्षद्वीप में उसको भी अपग्रेड कर रहा है, so that future में मलाक्का स्ट्रेट और बे ऑफ बंगाल को पूरा प्रोटेक्ट किया जा सके. इसमें एक या दो स्लाइड और हैं. In whole gamut, Russian rule in Indo-China relations plays a very, very important and crucial role. If you see that some of the forums, BRICS, RIC, Russia, SCO, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Russia, India, China, and bilateral relations between India and Russia because of the defense deals, and Shanghai, China, organization. Russia is playing a very, very important role in bilateral and multilateral relations with India as on date, which India needs to strengthen. And through Russia, it can strengthen its relations with those countries which were erstwhile Russian states. So, with Russia and other countries, with Asian countries, with highways in Thailand, etc., friendly relations with the landlocked countries, and good relations with the faraway countries, there are so many options out there. लेकिन याद रखिएगा, जहां से मैंने शुरू किया था, there are no permanent friends and enemies in international relations. Only permanent thing is country's national interest. बड़े अफसोस की बात है, ये सारी चीजें जो मैंने आपके साथ शेयर की हैं, they are visible since last good number of decades. But if we see that the type of work, quality of work, and the pace of work to strengthen the relations, to develop the infrastructure, to have its presence, the manner it is happening, it's very, very slow. As I mentioned in the beginning, के एक कनाल बनाने के लिए आपको 2 दिन में या 2 साल में नहीं बनती. It takes 10 years and the planning of next 20 years. हमारा short sightedness हमारा इतना है, हम प्लान हमारी नहीं है, हम ऐसी चीजों में अपना टाइम एंड एनर्जी वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, और एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी दूसरी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को नीचा दिखाने में अपनी सारी एनर्जी लगती है. सो एंड इंटरेस्ट इज के कंट्री का परमानेंट इंटरेस्ट जो नेशनल इंटरेस्ट है कहीं ना कहीं गायब और गुम हो जाता है. बट इफ वी वांट वी कैन डू, अदरवाइज एज फार एज दैट द इंडो चाइना रिलेशंस आर कंसर्न, China's intentions and its ambitions are very, very high, very, very expansionist, और उसका तोड़ निकालने के लिए इंडिया को बहुत जोर लगाना पड़ेगा, बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General Shori. Indeed, it was quite interesting. And since time is very less, so 1 or 2 questions I would like to request Prerna to moderate. Over to Prerna.
Yes, thank you, Colonel. I think that was a very informative talk. I wouldn't call it Chinese checkers, I'd call it Chinese chakkar that we have. Does anyone have any questions, please?
General, can you take out the slide so that everybody can be seen? Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from anyone? I don't think we have any questions.
I have one, please.
You do? Please go ahead, Vikram.
General Shori, we were, my question is related to the competitiveness that India has and this whole josh of banning Chinese products. What is your position on that? Do you
Position
feel that
on?
it's
I couldn't understand. Position
on the ban and prohibition of import of Chinese products?
You might have read in the newspaper that how many Chinese apps have been banned. If I just give one example, how many the banned Chinese apps? I think more than 50 Chinese apps have been banned. How many apps we were using? Out of the banned apps, how many apps we were using? Any idea?
No idea.
No idea. Just 1 or 2. So when we announced that the 50 apps have been banned, and out of that only 1 or 2 were being used, and your mobile phones continue to be available in the market as on date, what type of ban is there? Point number 1. Point number 2, China knew that because of this Swadeshi thing, because of the Atmanirbhar thing, because of that the BJP government and highly बात हो रही कि हमने अपने स्वदेशी आइटम्स को जो है एनकरेज करना है और चाइनीज गुड्स का बैन करना है, China started investing, diverting its companies in collaboration with Singapore, Philippines, this thing, South Korea, North Korea, etc. So Chinese goods even today are coming to India with a different collaboration. There is hardly any decline. Whatever may be the decline, it will be just 5 to 10% only.
No, that was not my question. I was asking, what is your position on the ban of Chinese products in India? Do you believe that there should be one, or do you believe that Indian industry should directly compete and this ban is, a pointless exercise? What's your position on that?
बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत मुश्किल है. देखिए, आप बैन तो लगा दो, बैन किस किस के ऊपर लगाओगे? बैन लगा ही नहीं पाओगे आप. आपके लैपटॉप में जो है कितने प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, वो चाइनीज प्रोडक्ट्स आ रहे हैं, आपको पता नहीं चलेगा. आपको नहीं पता चलेगा इसमें से चाइनीज कौन सा है, क्या क्या है, वो किसके साथ आ रहा है. लेकिन आपकी अपनी इंडस्ट्री अपने पैरों पर जो है कब खड़ा होगी?
सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपकी पोजीशन क्या है? क्या प्रोडक्ट which are manufactured in China, should they be restricted for import into India or not?
नहीं, आप रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा ही नहीं सकते. मेरे चाहने से क्या होगा? यू कैन नॉट पुट रिस्ट्रिक्शन. यू आर पार्ट ऑफ द WTO, यू आर पार्ट ऑफ द सो मेनी इंटरनेशनल फोरम्स. अभी SCO की मीटिंग हमारे फॉरेन मिनिस्टर जो है चाइना के साथ करके आए हैं, जहां पर उन्होंने ट्रेड को एनकरेज कैसे करना उसकी मॉडर्निटीज डिस्कस की. मेरे चाहने से गवर्नमेंट इज आल्सो इंटरेस्टेड इन इंक्रीजिंग इट्स ट्रेड. It's only that the temporary type of euphoria which has been built, just a passionate type of thing that the Chinese goods का बैन करो. मोमबत्तियां बैन करने से क्या होगा? आपकी कारों के इलेक्ट्रिक सर्किट्स जो हैं वो ऑलरेडी सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनीज और दूसरी कंपनीज सप्लाई कर रही हैं. मोमबत्ती और खिलौने बैन करने से कुछ नहीं होगा.
Thank you. I think time for question is not much now. Before proceeding further, I would once again welcome Murtaza Cherawala, Saroj Binawala, Rama Arora, Sudha Shah to join the meeting, today's meeting. And proceeding further, I would like to request Rotarian Vikram Puri to extend formal vote of thanks. So over to Vikram.
Thank you, Colonel Mishra. General Shori, thank you for being with us this morning. I think you've given us a very different perspective on what we thought is this Chinese checkers, or as Prerna correctly put it, Chinese chakkar. You also, although I'm afraid I didn't get probably your answer correctly, but my belief is that you believe that there is no point in prohibiting or importing Chinese products, prohibiting the import of Chinese products. And I personally agree with that, because Indian industry has to compete. There is no point in winning the World Cup in cricket if we say कि हम खेलेंगे मगर अगर पाकिस्तान को खेलने ना दिया जाए तो. So we can't fix the match and we can't fix the playing field. We have to compete in the open market. The only alternative, and Chinese products are pretty good in terms of quality and delivery. So the only alternative is to buy more expensive European products, which is what is happening now. So thank you for putting that in perspective. You've also given us a pretty good idea of how our trade routes and trade agreements are working. So thank you for that. You're welcome to speak to us anytime you choose again. I hope Colonel Mishra will get you back here again at some point in time in the future. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Vikramji. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks a
this
lot.
start of the week is a tradition of Rotary Club Pune Riverside. I would like to invite Vikram Puri again to do honor for thought of the week. Over to Vikramji.
It seems I'm very popular this morning, so I think this this thought for the week would probably be more in line with that popularity. So no matter how high the throne you sit on, you should always remember that you're finally sitting on your bottom. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Joke of the week is also very popular, to Rotary Club Pune Riverside. For this, I would like to invite Rotarian Sandeep Das. Over to Sandeep ji.
Thank you, Colonel sir, and good morning, everybody. When I was listening to General, I thought of two things. One, there is nothing right in a war. all what matters is what is left. And on slightly interesting part, how does an octopus go to a war? Very well armed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep ji. In fact, as I announced earlier, since last 6 months, 1st July to 30th December, all Wednesdays we have the meeting. So there ब्रेक बनता है, 6th को ब्रेक है, 6th को अपनी मीटिंग नहीं है, क्लब की मीटिंग, सो 6th को मीटिंग नहीं होगी, शेड्यूल नहीं है. 13 January 2021 morning 8:30 Riverside Board of Directors meeting is scheduled. I will request all Riversiders to kindly join in large number. We have to decide lot many things. Wishing you all a very happy new year 2021. Stay healthy, happy, safe and blessed. Looking forward meeting you all in new year 2021. Once again thanking General Shori, my good friend, the participants in the morning, the students and Riversiders. Please allow me to end the meeting because already it is 8:40, something like 9:34. So is permission up for ending the meeting is there?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Deepak bhai. Thank you very much. Thank you to all.
Thank you.